Hello, my friends. So I'm having some real triggered moments. I'm in the parking lot freezing my butt off in Minnesota. It's 13-degree wind chill right now. For once, we're going to talk about something current day. As you know, I usually do these interlude type things that are sometimes a really quick catch up to speed, but I haven't really caught up to present day, but I'm really triggered, so let's talk about it. And let me know if I'm going off the handle here. I don't know if I'm supposed to be farther than this on my journey. I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to be calmer than this, but I don't know. Let's get into it. So my parents are visiting for the first time since October. They visited in October for a brief little jaunt to go up to, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. A show up in Minneapolis. Frozen at the Orpheum off Broadway. It was great. And other than that, and then going down to visit them in Iowa on Christmas, I haven't really seen them. They came to visit. And at first my mom spun it as we'll come up for the day on Saturday, but it became they came up then Friday night after the Timberwolves game, after we got home from the Timberwolves game. They didn't come to the Timberwolves game, and they stayed last night as well. Which is fine. It just kind of threw me because at first when my mom talked about just a day visit, I was like, that's probably best at this point because where you guys aren't up to speed is I haven't really talked about, that's the disadvantage of always doing past stuff and just interludes about my feelings, is I haven't kind of told you guys where I am and talking to my mom about some things that went on in my childhood. But suffice to say, for now, this post is a mess. So I have some really crappy memories of the childhood church I grew up in. So the first thing that kind of went awry is while we were at the Timberwolves game Friday night, I noticed 2 hours too late that my dad had sent me an audio message, and in the audio message he said something along the lines of, on Sunday I'm going to want to go to church. And so keep in mind, I didn't know at this point that they were planning to stay till Sunday, like overnight 2 nights. But so anyway, he's saying on Sunday I'm going to want to go to church. Are we going to go to church with you? He knows I don't have a church. He knows I don't go to church. And what he means by that is there is a sister church to my parents' interesting just values church. There's a sister church about an hour from me that I used to obligated, resentful go to with them, but I've kind of put my foot down with church with them. When we went down for Christmas, I just assertively, terrifyingly told them that I wasn't going to go to church with them. So anyway, it starts off with my dad getting into the church talk. I'm going to want to go to church on Sunday. Are you coming with us or are we going with you? So already I was kind of just like, have you forgot who I am? Have you forgot what I'm changing? Have you forgot how much I've told you about my issues and bad memories with that church that I grew up with? So continuing on with my rant that admittedly may just be me just being triggered and grouchy. I don't know, but this will make me feel better. So I write back somewhat of the truth, somewhat of the not truth. I'm not quite where I can assertively say the whole thing, but I just say to my dad via text while I'm sitting at the Timberwolves game, I say, we're selling a whole bunch of stuff on Marketplace right now, which we are. We're selling a whole bunch of stuff. And I might have some people coming on Sunday to take a look at stuff. So you go to church wherever you want, but, I'm staying home. So, that's kind of true, but I could have just said, I'm not going to church with you, but whatever. I'm working on it. So we get home from the Timberwolves game. They roll in a little bit after that. They had to drive all the way from Iowa. It's about a 2.5 hour drive for them. And whatever, we chat a little bit before bed. So Saturday morning, so let's see, backtracking a little bit here. My mom and my sister worship my husband. They think he's amazing, that he's great, and they always have, on 2 fronts, they kind of worship him. So the first is that, he cooks and he cleans and he does laundry and he is involved in your girls' lives, and he takes on DIY projects, and he's just so amazing. And that's true. That is true. He does do all of those things. But he's, as I've explained in some past content, completely emotionally unavailable. Totally emotionally unavailable. And he goes even one step beyond that to make me feel like I am needy and like I'm asking too much, and like I need to do things to earn bare minimum, which then I would do, and then I still wouldn't give me the bare minimum. I've learned in therapy that is a type of abuse. And so I don't go for it anymore, and I'll catch you guys up to where we're kind of, I've mentioned in past stuff that we're not outside, we've talked divorce, but anyway, blah, blah, blah. They worship him. And so, so that was confusing for me always, because I thought, here I am, I need to, man, everybody loves my husband. He teaches here in a small town. Everybody loves my husband. Oh, he's so amazing. He's my favorite teacher. He's my son's favorite teacher, etc. So everyone just adores your husband, and it's so confusing because it's like, well, he's a shithead to me. I mean, again, can't say anything nice to me, can't do anything nice for me, can never compliment me, is physically unavailable to me, but gosh darn it, everybody loves my husband, and so something must be wrong. Rant continued. I'm getting some weird looks. And then the other aspect to the confusion, or just my mom and my sister's worship of my husband, is that, the other aspect is that not only do they worship him for like what he does, but even when we were dating, they would do a lot of stuff like, oh my gosh, like, kudos for being able to be around Bethy. She's so emotional. And we're all like laughing about this when it's said, we're saying it just like with smiles on our face. Like, it's so funny to diss Bethy. Oh my gosh, she's so like unhinged. She's so difficult to be around, and just kudos to you, Matt, for like dealing with her. And again, that too is something that now I know is just like, fuck you. That's so, what the hell? An old lady's looking at me. No, I'm fine. Anyway, sorry. Just shooting a TikTok, ma'am. Sorry. So anyway, I plan to process and talk about that more as I talk to you guys, because I've started to like just feel bad for past me who just thought that was, I don't know, I just took that stuff. Oh yeah, I am so unhinged because I've got borderline personality disorder, and I'm bipolar. All those things that you have no idea yet are complex PTSD. You've made me out and medicated me to be a monster, and I am so unhinged. It's not like there's trauma completely going on all around me. Anyway, wow, see, I said this was a rant. And so anyway, back to Saturday morning. So we get up, and my daughters, I'm starting to heat them up some homemade waffles that I make. And my mom sees them on the counter, and she's like, oh, those look delicious. I would have one of those. So I'm talking about, like, I'm essentially telling her, like, I make them, because I'm talking about how I use, like, the whey byproduct from the yogurt that I make, and how I use this ground flax meal, and they're so healthy. And so we're all, like, we're sitting down at the table, and she goes, Matt, these are so good. And I wait a beat for Matt to say, no, those are Bethy's, but it doesn't come. He's there. And so I say, oh, no, I make these waffles. That's my recipe. These are my waffles. And she goes, oh, okay. Or something like that. Yum, they're so good. But then this morning at breakfast, she kind of says something like, well, what are the breakfast options? Because we don't want to eat all of Matt's waffles. And it's like, they're my waffles. Now I'm feeling like petty because it's like I'm clarifying, I make the waffles. If anyone's still listening at this point, it's mostly just for me to rant. So it's like, did you even listen to me yesterday? Like, it's so weird. I've like gone through all the ingredients that I use. I literally was sitting next to her yesterday when I said, no, they're my waffles. And then today to be like, oh, we don't want to eat all of Daddy's waffles. What? And so, and this was another thing. So I said, no, those are my waffles. I even felt the need to add, Matt's never made these waffles in his life. And she goes, oh, so Mom makes the waffles, but Dad makes the pizza dough. It's a long story. My husband has a pizza dough recipe, but I felt the need then to be like, oh no, I make the pizza dough too. She was trying to get at, long story, the fact that Matt used to make all the meals when I used to have to drive to work and I was commuting for an hour and a half a day. Now Matt and I absolutely fully share the food loads. So again, probably a petty feeling, but it was just like, I felt like she was getting at the fact that, well, Matt still, it's like the fact that she had to throw a qualifier in there. Well, you do the waffles, but Matt does the pizza dough. I don't know. I'm probably overreacting. So another thing is that we have a house with a great backyard. It's easy to have a backyard in a hick town. It doesn't cost that much. So we have a fantastic backyard that we've worked our tails off on over the years. Absolutely, like retaining walls. It's gorgeous. If anyone cares, maybe I'll take a video sometime. My backyard's pretty great. Again, I'm not trying to brag. It's nice. It's easy to have a nice big so we have a big backyard. It's easy to have a big backyard in Minnesota. No one wants to live where I live. But to be fair, yeah, we have like decked the heck out of it with landscaping. We enjoy doing that type of thing. We don't like watching TV. We don't really drink. Nothing against either of those things. We just don't do it. My ADHD kind of stops me from doing those things. I just always feel the need to be busy, and that also could be something stemming from me feeling like I need to prove myself, is just working my nails to the bone all the time. Run-on sentence. So anyway, on Saturday morning after the waffle thing, my dad is standing at the back patio yard door, and he goes, "Wow, Matt, all your work in the yard, all your effort, man, it's just going to be so hard to leave." And I just kind of laughed and was like, yeah, and me there working right beside him. You know, I just was, again, probably why do I feel the need to keep saying that? But was just like, what are you trying to say? Like, what do you... Matt, I mean, first of all, I bought that backyard, and I mean, okay, that's a generalization. Someone's going to attack me for that, but sure, yeah, he signed on it too, and his school paychecks, sure, they come into play somewhere. I didn't buy the whole backyard, but I've had the vision for the backyard, and I've worked. I don't point to my husband what to do. I'm in that backyard sometimes more than he is. So it just felt like another, let's stroke this covert narc's ego, because why is he so great or something? Hopefully this is the last one. And so then my mom wasn't around then, but later in the day, we went freezing our butts off outside to do something, and my mom did the same thing. She's looking around at the retaining walls, the decorative pavers, the edger, the cypress mulch, etc., and she's like, "Wow, Matt, you've just put so much work into this yard." And I go, I can't remember what. I was like, oh no, I do remember, because I used the phrase, "with all due respect, I've put in just as much effort to this backyard as Matt has. We were a team in this yard. In fact, in the summers, I suspend my gym membership, and I use my allotted gym hour every other evening to work in the backyard. Matt doesn't do that. And it's not like I care that Matt doesn't do that. I've never made Matt feel guilty that you should use your gym night in the yard like me. But it was more just me, I guess, feeling defensive about how, what the hell? Like, why doesn't anyone say anything nice about me? Am I overreacting? I don't know. So I confronted Matt about it. I kind of told the waffle thing and the yard thing. And I was like, first of all, it bothers me that they do that. But second of all, like, where are you? I don't hear you saying, oh, those are Bethany's waffles. I don't hear you saying, oh, and your daughter works right next to me on all this yard work. She's the one who rolled all of the sod when we cut the sod, if none of that makes sense, sorry. She's the one who did all of that. She's the one who shoveled half of that 10-ton pile of mulch, maybe more. Where are you saying that? And he was kind of like, yeah, I noticed that with the waffles. That is kind of weird that they do that. But as far as where am I to like speak up, I just don't think to. And it's like, therein lies the problem. What do you mean you don't think to? If I was to get undue accolades for something, I know this isn't just it's easy to be in those shoes. I know because it's happened. I know without a doubt. I would be saying, kind of in the other, let's flip that scenario. Oh no, these are Matt's waffles. These are Matt's waffles that you're singing the praises of. And if they were like, Bethy, all this work in the yard, all this incredible work, I'd be like, yeah, yep, it's been really, really satisfying, and Matt's been right there with me. And the reason I would know that I would do that is because those scenarios have happened, whether in personal life, whether in my work professional life or whether just living as a human. Thanks for listening to my rant. So I'm done getting my groceries, and I would just like to clarify that I'm having, so my parents are at church right now. We didn't go. I'm having a great time with my parents. My mom played with my daughters pretty much all day yesterday. They were giggling. They were so happy. I loved talking to my mom. I loved talking to my dad. It's nice to see them again. It's nice to talk through moving logistics and ideas with my dad. It's wonderful to see them. My mom helped me clean the kitchen yesterday. We wiped down the counters, having great conversation while we didn't have to make eye contact while we sat on the couch. Last night, she said to me before I went to put the girls down, "Is there anything else I can help with?" And I said no. And then I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I have 2 loads of laundry you can fold if you want. Like, I'm working on, just not only, she asked, and I had to think of the post I had done for you guys where I had said, when I go to my daughter's houses, I will love to help them. I will love to think of doing things. And I actually even mentioned that to my mom later, that I'd kind of done this post where I talked about how, I appreciate that my mom helps me and doesn't feel like it's free labor. It's just something to help with. So anyway, yeah, my mom watched my kids while I got various things ready to post on Marketplace, and just, I kind of hung out and talked. It's like we could talk while my mom was helping me clean the kitchen, was helping me wipe things down, was watching hanging out with not watching my girls, but hanging out with them, doing things with them and loading laundry. So I'm having a great time with my parents. I would like to clarify. It's just that these triggers do bring up things that I kind of was trying to explain to my husband, that it's not current Bethy that I feel sad for. It's past. It's like I've got me now. This new me, I've got me taken care of. I shot back answers, to all those things. I'm just thinking of this girl inside who has hurt for so many years, who has had all these things happen and is silent and could have spoken up. I'm not saying I had a muzzle on, but just didn't feel like she could. I'm like massaging that spot as I even say it. It's just those things, those hurt for several years, when, I don't know. So it's more just this defensive feeling of caring about past me, and I don't know. I'll talk to my therapist about all of this tomorrow, but thanks for listening with me today if you got this far. The other thing that's kind of just bothering me is that my husband and I are kind of germaphobes, and maybe you don't even have to be a germaphobe technically to always want your shoes off in the house, but my parents aren't taking their shoes, they take them off at the door. It's the weirdest thing. But then yesterday when they were going to go somewhere, they go put their shoes on and then they walk around my house with their shoes on. So I don't know, just another random vent. Am I going to be like this when I'm older? Does your brain just stop working? I don't know. Anyway, thanks for listening. Have a good Sunday.